Hey, I'm asking for myself. Anyway, please, can we? Yes. So, any questions? I have a question for Ben. I will prompt you with that. So I was looking at your presentation about the different point of presence, and I was thinking about the IGAT region. So when you're looking at not only Ethiopia but the IGAT region, what are the things that need to be put in place so that that region become interesting from not only Meta but from a CDN global perspective? What are the things that can be done short, medium term, so that that region becomes interesting for a CDN perspective?
So, excuse me. So, different CDNs, different hyperscalers will build for different things. So I can talk to kind of metas, but some of those things will overlap. We're really interested in ecosystems, and we look at markets we're going to build in. And so, an ecosystem here is being kind of defined as good data centers that are carrier neutral, good IXPs, that are community run, community led, community driven. Options for metro connectivity. Lots of people are able to compete in the metro market, long haul market, IP transit providers, access providers. A really healthy ecosystem of a good selection of providers. What that then finds drives good innovation in the market, drives competition, and that fundamentally drives traffic up. And then at that point, because I think it was in one of the slides you put up, like it's a business case we make essentially when we look at building into somewhere. We're looking at the impact we get. So how much to improve resilience, how much to improve video quality, and it's not only traffic, but traffic drives those kind of good behaviors and good kind of decisions.
Okay. So an ecosystem. It's very important to create the ecosystem. From a regulatory perspective, what are, not necessarily from IGAD region, but in other, I know you can probably talk about other regions and your experience. What are the other things that happen from a regulatory perspective that really boosted the development of an ecosystem? You can talk about West Africa. Do you have any specific example or market or something triggered the development, tremendous development in the past few years from your experience?
So I'm definitely not a regulatory expert, but what you see is you see it in Kenya because they were talking about it where you've got the very small regional providers. So there is a kind of very easy way to enter in to become an ISP. You're not trying to become a national ISP. You're trying to serve just a certain townville, and there's a framework that makes it easy to do that. We're seeing the same in Nigeria. There's not a single catalyst there, but there's a big population like where we're sitting now in Ethiopia, and again, regional operators are starting to pop up around the country. So, what we find is people have fixed line access. And this isn't just us, this is more broadly. Because of the way fixed lines delivered, higher bandwidth, not the same data usage, they use more bandwidth. And these kind of very localized, specialized community, kind of networks or serving a community enable that to happen. For us then, we see lots of networks with a few gig of traffic, which is great. And then that helps drive we could put an appliance on the IX, or, we might want to build a POP, or a combination of both the things.
Okay. All right. Any question from the audience? Yes.
I have a question regarding the field force. I was fortunate enough to attend quite a few of these forums, both in Africa and elsewhere. And it's very
Okay, so yes, definitely we are running a fellowship program for the Maki events. For AFPIF, we do have. So it is on application basis. If we see Ethiopians applying and having a good applications, then yes, they will be taken into consideration. What you are looking at is from few years now, we are trying to have regional peering forums. So whoever cannot fly to Lagos or Nigeria, at least we can have a peering forum within East Africa and probably look at if we can have a fellowship, let's say for 2, 3, 5 people. Some of the partners we are working with support the fellowship program. Some do not, and probably the organization needs to pay for the person to come. So, but we will see, we will really be keen to see more Ethiopian coming into those forums. But it starts, the reason why we see a lot of, let's say, Rwandans in peering forum, it is because probably it has been so many years of, having, first of all, a national peering forum, which is attended like this one. And then after a few years, this person say, okay, it's enough. Let me go to a regional peering forum. And then later on, they come to the continental peering forum. So it's a trend, and it takes time to grow that critical mass of people who are coming into those African peering forum. Thank you very much, David. I think those comments are quite important. And I want to echo what you just mentioned about some in the organization understanding and some not understanding. I remember when we started the exchange point in Rwanda, it was 3 ISPs. The CTOs agreed to exchange traffic because they knew that it was saving money for both of them. And later on, it's when we started having this kind of setup and meeting, and managers came to know about that later on. Maybe it can be different in Ethiopia, but most importantly is if the middle management understand, the senior technical managers understand, then the benefit is to the country. And what we are doing here is really, let me use the word patriotic. It is patriotic because the advantage we are looking at is not the advantage of your organization. It's the advantage of your country and your nation. Because what we are talking about here is just peering, but in our mind, we are thinking about the digital economy. Robert was talking about AI. In the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 years, some jobs will no longer be available. Are we ready? If we don't have the digital platforms, our youth will not have a job, and then probably they will do other bad things. So what we are doing today has an impact on a nationwide, on a regional level. So let's have that in our mind. So with that, thank you very much for your attention. Let's move forward. Can we have another round of applause?